Florida's governor back in his home state tonight, 24 hours after ending his presidential campaign. Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders joining us right now live from Tallahassee tonight with what is next for Governor Ron DeSantis. Forrest?
Yeah, Paul, I mean, it was a pretty quiet day for Governor Ron DeSantis. Really didn't hear anything from him outside of a couple of press releases. His comm staff said that he had a clear schedule at the start of the day. And then we didn't see any public appearances either. But you can't say the same for his supporters and critics.
As Governor Ron DeSantis' super PAC bus idled in New Hampshire Monday, 1,300 miles away, the candidate who used to occupy it had a quiet day. DeSantis putting the focus back on Florida after announcing online Sunday his 2024 presidential bid was over.
But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
The withdrawal was instant fodder for DeSantis critics who hosted a press conference outside the state capitol.
When he took this, we're going to make America Florida agenda across the country, and it was rejected.
Florida Democrats chair Nikki Fried saw the dropout as a win for her party, a sign she thought that times were changing.
It is going to be a reckoning come November when people in our state are going to say, wait a second, these were my representatives that I sent to Tallahassee and didn't focus on property insurance, didn't focus on affordability.
Florida Republicans, meanwhile, saying think again.
So I think they should be careful what they hope for, because the governor for another 3 years is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
State Party Chair Evan Power predicted DeSantis would remain in the legislative driver's seat for the remainder of his term. That's as the governor's 2024 supporters push for peace.
Basically, it's a civil war within the Republican Party.
State Senator Blaise Ingoglia among the DeSantis backers, following the governor's lead and flipping to Trump. Ingoglia urging others to do the same despite Nikki Haley's ongoing campaign.
Everyone needs to come together for the common cause, and that's beating Joe Biden in 2024. The infighting must stop. It must come to an end in order for us to unite, and that's what we need to do, unite.
Okay, so let's talk about 2028. That's something that's on everybody's mind. Well, we already have heard from some of the DeSantis supporters who think that the governor should consider jumping back into the presidential cycle next time around. And that's one of the reasons why they expect he will continue to try and deliver those big GOP goals for the state of Florida to pad his resume if he were to run again in 2028. Paul?
2028, 4 years, is a lot can change. Forrest, if state Democrats are going to attempt to somehow leverage DeSantis' defeat politically, it would seem that they're going to need a lot more than just a failed presidential campaign. I mean, you could argue Republicans have a supermajority in this state because the electorate itself has changed. It's more Republican than it's ever been. How do they think exactly that's going to change just because DeSantis stopped running for president? And if anything, people thought that they wanted him for governor more than they wanted him for president. And they're glad that he's back to Florida being governor again.
Yeah, and I think that for Democrats, this is just one more little chiseling away at the GOP supermajority and the Republican Party's hold on the state of Florida. They're adding, the downfall of DeSantis to the long list of things that they say are showing that the state is changing, not to mention, the Jacksonville mayoral race where you saw a Democrat come into office, or House District 35, that special election that happened right after the Iowa caucuses where you saw a Republican seat flip over to blue. That is a purple district, but they are saying that they are seeing the pendulum swing in the other direction. They don't expect to have a supermajority anytime soon, but they do see things changing slowly.
Yeah, well, I know it's early, but any word yet on whether DeSantis will actually go out and stump or campaign for Donald Trump, a man who for the past year he has said was not the best choice in 2024?
Yeah, I think right now there is still a lot of ice between these two campaigns, a lot of bad blood. But I have heard reportedly there is an effort from the Trump campaign to reach out to the DeSantis campaign and say, hey, we have an open invitation for you to come and campaign for the former president if you'd like to in the future. We did also hear from the former president just as soon as yesterday, who said that, we'll see if Governor Ron DeSantis will re-enter the good graces of the Trump circle. So, you know, this is something that is, as you said, still early, but there is a potential opportunity here for DeSantis to kind of come back into the fold. But it's just time will tell there, because obviously DeSantis has a lot to do right here in the Sunshine State with the legislative session still in session.
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game now. For Saunders live in Tallahassee, thank you. Well,